Hey guys, welcome to my channel where everything is so Vidushi.
को राजस्थान कुछ ऐसा दिखा।
So I started this journey with my family on the 14th of October. And I'm wearing a mask in this clip because I had a pretty bad cold that day. And I was not able to talk. I whispered for the entire journey, which is quite a long time because we were on the train for the rest of the day and the entire night to get to Jaisalmer all the way in Rajasthan the next morning. Since I was unable to talk the entire time, I had to do something to keep myself from getting bored. So I ended up listening to a lot of music and I had taken a few books with me to read on the train. On the way there, I ended up reading It Ends With Us by Kaale. A bit Wattpad-y, but actually not a bad book. Would totally recommend. Along with that, I also ended up filming literally everything I saw outside my window, which is why I have a lot of footage to get through. Thank you, Vidushi from the past. I am not mad at all. Just disappointed. But hey, here's some semi-cool footage for you guys to watch. Enjoy! And here we have reached Jaisalmer. Welcome to Rajasthan, y'all! The first thing on our agenda after getting to Jaisalmer was to find a good taxi driver, not only to get to our hotel, but also tourist place taxi drivers usually have contacts with tourist place guides, and if you're a tourist in a tourist place, you would like a tourist place guide. Cool. And in the taxi, we got our very first glimpses of the beautiful city that is Jaisalmer. Trust me guys, this place is amazing. Okay, and then we got to our hotel, finally. And yeah, the hotel was pretty cool too, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We still had some time until we could check into our room, so we ended up staring at everything at the reception because everything was so pretty. And then we ended up having some breakfast. And here is my very sophisticated breakfast of cupcake and chalky milk. And then finally we had access to our rooms, so this is some footage that I took. Oh wow, is that an outfit change? Yes it is. So all of us ended up showering and changing into our exploring the city clothes because we were ready to explore the city. Let's go! The first place we were visiting was the Patwa Haveli. This is a cluster of 5 havelis, and since it is also a popular tourist attraction, there was also a market for like puppets and earrings and stuff. I ended up doing some shopping, but back to the havelis. So 5 havelis belonging to the Patwa family, and their construction started in the early 19th century, and they were all constructed over the course of 50 to 55 years. So here's a cool history lesson that I got from our guide there. The Patwas were actually told by a priest that their business would not flourish in Jaisalmer, so they left, and then they got super rich. But Jaisalmer was sort of going broke, I think, so they were called back, and when they were called back, the head of the family decided to construct 5 havelis for each of his 5 sons. And, the havelis were constructed, they started living there, but their business started going bad again. So they had to leave Jaisalmer again, and the havelis have been in the care of the caretakers ever since. Architecture is absolutely gorgeous from the outsides as well as the insides, and I was absolutely awestruck. There was just so much to take in and so much to look at. I ended up filming everything, but sadly I cannot show it to you guys in just one YouTube video. So if any of you ever have the chance to visit Jaisalmer, I would 10 out of 10 totally recommend this place. I'm also a tad bit jealous of the people of the time, at least the rich ones. Now I know they still had problems like dying a lot, but their houses are just absolutely gorgeous. I have mad respect for the people of the time to not limit their ambitions to just practicality and actually go above and beyond, because they didn't want their houses to be just some place that they could inhabit. They wanted their houses to be some place that they could admire and enjoy the aesthetic beauty of. Inside the Haveli, they had put up a bunch of historical artifacts in display, which I found really interesting, so I ended up taking like 200 pictures in my first hour there. Of course, I'm not gonna force you guys to sit through all of that footage, but here are some of my chosen favorites. After getting out of there, we did some shopping in this area, and we also met this really cool man who was singing a song. As beautiful as this place is, it was probably not a good idea for us to visit a place with so many shopping options first.
इसमें दाम बराबर बोलो और इसमें थोड़ा कलर है
इससे सस्ता कोई नहीं देगा
While my mom was busy shopping, I was kind of getting bored, so I ended up posting a lot of things to my Snapchat, and I shared a lot of it to my Discord server, which, if you're not in, you should definitely be in, because it's a really cool place with a lot of really cool people. Well, not a lot of people, but we're getting there. Anyways, links in description, back to the video. After our visit to the Patwa Haveli, we visited Natmalki Haveli. This place is really interesting because two brothers were contracted to build it, but they ended up getting into a competition about whose side turns out better. So even if both the sides look symmetrical on the surface, the carvings and details are all different. This destination on the agenda was the Golden Fort or Sonari Kila of Jaisalmer. Now, this place was built in the 12th century by Raval Jaisal. I think that's the guy who founded the entire city. So yeah, this is pretty cool. The fort was beautifully constructed. We saw a lot of cool architecture over there, as well as shook our hands through this window thingy, because why not? And since we didn't eat anything since breakfast, we were sort of starving. So our guide took us to one of the several beautiful cafes located on the fort. The one we went to was the Panorama Cafe, as far as I remember. Their view was absolutely glorious and the food was really delicious. Next, we made our way down from the fort and took a drive to the Mandir Palace. Beautiful place, so many things to take pictures of, but also we indulged in a bit of tomfoolery.
Hello Vogue, welcome to my humble abode. This is 73 questions with Vidushi. So, about this.
How does it feel to live in this home?
Pretty normal, I guess. This is my kitchen, and this is what I cook my breakfast in, and those are my plants, and I don't know who put these rocks here, and this is my sauna, and what is that?
After admiring the beauty of the Mandir Palace, we made our way to the final destination for the day, Ghadisar Lake. This was really pretty and really fun because we went boating. Yes, sir. We picked a paddle boat and my brother and I were in charge of paddling while my mom and dad just sat there because they're old. And here's some cool footage. After our boat ride, we ended up getting a cup of coffee from the stall nearby, and then we waited for the night show. This is the light and fountain show. Now, they ended up using the mist from the fountains as something to project on, and they showed us a movie about the history of Jaisalmer. The audio was kind of bad, so I didn't really pay attention, but this intro with all the dancing lights was pretty cool. And after coming back to our hotel, we ended up going to Vaira for dinner, which is the restaurant located on top of Marriott Jaisalmer. I'm not really sure about the arrangement. Since this was a rooftop restaurant, they had a really nice view of the fort. Their food was okay-ish, but they had really amazing music playing. I don't know who the artist was, but his voice was great, and so was his taste in old Bollywood songs, which you guys would know are my jam if you followed me on Spotify. Follow me on Spotify. These are some of my favorite pictures from day one. I posted some of these to the server, so you guys should totally join if you want the behind the scenes. And with that, let's move on to day 2, baby! We started the day by going for a swim at the pool, and then we got ready to explore the desert side of Jaisalmer. Only an hour-long ride from here to the next hotel that we were gonna stay at, but we made a much necessary stop at the Lukrembo Jain temple. This temple is the only standing piece of architecture of the ruined city of Lukrembo, which used to be the capital of the Bharti dynasty before Ravil Jaisal moved the capital to Jaisalmer. So the temple stayed all the way back to the 8th century, and they underwent repairs again in the 17th century when they were ruined by Muhammad Ghazni. You guys know the drill. There's also a legend that says that a snake comes out of a hole in the temple to drink milk every evening, but I don't really know if I could have met the snake because we left in the afternoon because we had to get to the dessert by the evening. Let's hit the road. We were staying at one of the tent rooms at the Mama's resort, and it was very lucky for us because the resort was in cahoots with the people that were in charge of the desert safari as well as the desert camel rides and everything.
Shadow.
Oh yeah, I still have a cold in the desert. I've been drinking hot water before going to bed every night from the hotel's provided tea kettle. But that, my friend, is irrelevant because we saw a peacock. Finally made it to the sand dunes. Pro tip for you guys, bring your own cold drinks because they're selling them for 20 rupees extra. Also, if you tell your name to the kids, they're gonna put it in a song and sing it for you and you'll have to pay them, and that's child labor. Even if it was really fun. We got to the sand dunes just in time to see this amazing sunset.
ಅಂದಿದಾರು ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಖಾತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಂದು ಮಾಡಿದಾಸ್ನ
There are many other resorts near the desert like the one we stayed at, and I think we saw the tent that they had set up to camp in the desert. I don't really get it on video, but they were playing Elvis Presley songs on guitar in there. Pretty cool stuff. And just like that, it was time to leave. The camel ride back was interesting because it got dark before we got back to our resort, so we actually saw the starry night sky of the desert on our way back. There's also something really beautiful about hearing the chimes of the bell ringing around your camel's neck for 40 minutes straight as your legs are about to fall off. But we made it back to our resort safely, and there they welcomed us with a proper Rajasthani greeting. Didn't get that on video, but I did get this cultural program that they arranged for us at the resort on video, and it was amazing! Were so talented, but oh my god, the dancers were so amazing and they looked just like dolls, guys. I'm still not over it. They were so good. But the night wasn't over yet. Next up was dessert safari. Basically, they take you on a jeep and they go really fast on the sand dune, so it feels like a roller coaster, but also the sky is really pretty. And I cannot stress this enough. The sky is really pretty. Day 3, we were looking at an almost 5-hour drive from Jaisalmer to Jodhpur, but we ended up adding a few stops in between. The first stop being the Jaisalmer date farm. Second time on the jeep within 24 hours. What else could I have asked for? Oh yeah, really cool looking trees to take pictures with, which we took a lot of. We also spent some time with their ducks, had some coffee at their cafe, bought some dates, swung on their swings. By the way, check out my outfit. The turtleneck is mine, but the pants are my mommy's. And this is the ring that I bought from Jaisalmer. So were the earrings I wore yesterday, and the kurti I wore yesterday was also my mom's, so shout out Mrs. Birdgiver. Then we hit the road again, had our lunch at this restaurant at the side of the highway. It was so yum. Also, I don't have any footage, but side note, dal bati absolutely slaps. And after several more hours of driving, we were finally in Jodhpur. And we arrived at our hotel in the evening, a few hours before dinner time. So the Indana Palace Hotel is actually a palace turned into a hotel, which explains why it looks like this. We got there just in time to witness this beautiful Jodhpur city sunset from the balconies of our rooms. We ended the evening by having our dinner at the Jodhpur Ras Resort. They had really nice view of the fort. More of that coming later. These are some of my favorite pics from day 3. We did spend most of our day traveling, but it seems so worth it now that I know everything that happens next.
I'll look around until I found someone who laughs like you.
First destination for day 4 was the Umaid Bhawan Palace. The construction of the palace was completed in the early 1940s, and since then it's been owned by the royal family. So yes, this palace is privately owned, but a part of the palace is under the management of the Taj Hotels, while the other part has been opened up as a museum by the royal family, where they have put several of the prized possessions owned by the late royals on display, and I was absolutely awestruck the entire time. All of it was so pretty and they had so much of it. I am half Rajput on my mom's side. Do you guys think I have a chance with any of the princes? Look at all the stuff they have. They also had 7 to 8 vintage cars on display, which looked really cool, but I couldn't get it on video because the glass was too reflective. And after grabbing a kulfi outside the Umaid Bhawan Palace, we made our way to the city for some authentic Jodhpur mithai. So yes, this is us trying out the mawa kachori. We also had some rabdi with kebar, which was super delicious. And then we were all ready for our next destination, which is probably my favorite from this entire trip, the Mehrangarh Fort.
Buying tickets.
Just getting the full tourist experience. So going up there, we avoided all the climbing and just took the elevator to the fort.
blomkroppen ska kusten skär. Ska jag fira julen här på Hawaii.
They even have steps to like get on the other side, even if they ask you not to. So, guys, should I do it for the wine?
All jokes aside, I can confidently say that this fort is the prettiest place that I've ever visited. Just look at this. But that's enough of the exterior, which by the way is gorgeous. Let's move on to some of my favorite interior architecture in this place. But of course, in true royal fashion, the architecture was not the only cool thing to look at, although it was very cool to look at. We also looked at a lot of cool historical artifacts that they had. I cannot show you all of it, but I can show you the most interesting bits. There was also an art gallery in the fort because apparently art popped off during the time of Rao Jodha, who was the guy who built this fort and also founded the entire city of Jodhpur. All the way back in the 15th century when he shifted the capital of Marwar from Mandol to Jodhpur. And if any of you are ever in a life or that situation where you have to recognize a Marwar painting, I got you, girl. Along with depictions and information about the older forms of art, they also had a souvenir shop where you could purchase articles with prints created by the local art students who are continuing the traditional art form. After making our way down from the fort, our next stop was Jaswantala, where we were greeted by this beautiful Iktara music. Jaswantala is basically the cremation ground for the royal family members. Our guide told us a lot of other cool things about this place, but look at these translucent rocks. After that, we went back to the city for some food and shopping. My mum and I got a few kurtas from a shop near the clock tower, and after that, we took an auto to Tripolia market, which was lit up with Diwali lights because we were visiting near Diwali time. I bet this guy's Snapchat story went hard that day. Along with exploring, I also had another agenda for my visit to the Tripolia market, which was to get something for my friends. I ended up getting identical pairs of earrings for all of my gal pals, so overall I would call this a success. And then it was time to go back to our hotel. There was a puppet show starting at our hotel just as we got there, so we got to see that. So that was pretty fun. And after that, Indana Palace also had hired people who were performing cultural Rajasthani dance and songs for us. They were all really talented, and the dancers actually asked all the ladies in the audience to join them towards the end. This also happened at Mama's, but we don't have that on video. But this time, we have a video. And that's all dancing content you're getting for free. Day 4 was over and it was time for day 5. Last day of the trip, let's go! Our first destination for today was Turji Ka Jhaura, which is a 250-year-old step well. We reached there in the morning where a bunch of kids were diving into the waters and messing around, so that was fun. And we also saw a white girl smoking weed, so that was pretty cool. Since that was our last day in Rajasthan, we spent the entire afternoon getting sweets and other shopping stuff to take back home, and in the evening we visited the Mandoor garden. They had a museum showcasing artifacts dating all the way back to the 6th century, but photography was prohibited there. However, I did get some pictures from a lot of the temples. Also, they had a lot of monkeys. The sun was setting and it was time for us to make our way to the railway station because it was time for our train back home. We picked up some pizza and sandwiches to eat on the train, and just like that, the Rajasthan trip had come to an end. So thank you Rajasthan for all the amazing memories and experiences, and sorry Jodhpur for puking on the sidewalk on the last day. I shouldn't have had black tea on an empty stomach. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me on this journey. I hope watching this video was as fun for you as making it was for me. If you did enjoy it, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and say something in the comment section because I really value your feedback, but also reading comments is super fun. Do it. I'm waiting. And yeah, I know it's been a while. A lot's been going on with me, but we can catch up some other day. For now, I hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead of you. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.